Alright, welcome back to part 2 of visiting the double gas giants and their twin atmospheric moons in the Kcalbeloh Planet Pack Mod and Kerbal space program. So, starting off from our last part, we just finished landing on Noyreg, and you can see us abandoning our space plane that we used to do that in orbit, just to save on weight. And we're going to be exiting the moon's sphere of influence in a retrograde direction to lower our periapsis down to intercept Norihc, or Norihc, which is an ice moon, which is our destination for today's episode. We're just leaving now. We've got our orbit all lined up. We're just gonna have to make some inclination adjustments here. And then we'll just have to set up an intercept. And we'll do a capture burn. Cool, looks like we've got our inclination all lined up. Now I'm just looking to see if we have any natural intercepts. Doesn't look like we have one in the next few years, so I'm going to have to just burn one myself, which doesn't actually take that much fuel. Looks like we got one in a few days, and it's only like 30 meters per second of delta V, so that's good. I'm just going to execute that maneuver now. Looks like we got our flyby. Here it is, Norihc. It's like an ice moon. It's got some interesting terrain, some fissures or cracks in the surface. There's even some pretty mountainous regions, which is kind of cool. I'm just setting up my capture burn. And here we are. Looks like we're captured. I think I'm gonna do a little spacewalk real quick. This is a cool little spot. Get a nice view of the double gas giants Simeht, Simetra, and the ice moon Norihc. Sometimes I do little spacewalks like these just for like a thumbnail for the video, but we'll see if I end up using it. Okay, now we're just going to circularize our orbit a little bit. I think the atmospheric height's like around, 50-something thousand meters, so we're just going to probably try to circularize it like 60,000. Do a little stealth quick load there. But we're almost set to begin our descent into the atmosphere. So, just wait until I get a good spot on terrain picked out, and then I'll just do a retrograde burn. Lower my periapsis to a point I want. I'm transferring the crew over to the lander, disconnecting lander, then I'm gonna speed back up. Like a little drop off maneuver there. But this lander's still on a course to dip into the atmosphere. So what I'm doing right here is I'm just adjusting the parachute settings, just lowering the pressure down and raising the altitude, because the atmosphere on this moon is actually pretty thin, so I'm not sure if like the standard like pressure and altitude settings are gonna actually end up working for us. So I'm just making those as optimal as possible for a low pressure, low thick atmosphere. And looks like we've entered the atmosphere. We're going to be passing over some of those ice fissures, which is kind of cool. We're going to be trying to use our parachutes to land mostly, and then we're going to have to do a little bit of a small burn at when we get close to the surface to slow ourselves down completely, but we'll save a lot of fuel using these parachutes. Starting to heat up a little bit. Okay. I just armed my drogue chutes. There we go. Whoa. I just deployed my regular parachutes. Just deploying the landing gear. Everything looks good. Just doing a little quick save in case something goes wrong. You can see some mountains in the back there. That's pretty cool. I actually think I like this this little icy moon better than Eeloo. The atmospheric effects are pretty cool. You can see, I think that's Noyreg or Noira in the background. We're gonna have to burn to slow ourselves down real quick. We're still going 20 meters per second. Nope, did a little bounce, but looks like we're landed. And now I'm just adjusting my landing gear so that I'm somewhat level. And there's our landing spot. Just deploying the ladder. Ooh. Planting a flag. You know, the works. But yeah, this is Norihc. Doing some science here. And now we're gonna do the usual. We're gonna watch some sunsets. I always like to do that. Pretty cool, huh? That's a really cool view. Just gonna take a screenshot here. Cool. Now I'm gonna get ready to set up a rendezvous back with the mothership. So I'm just warping around till it's passing overhead. And we're gonna burn all the way up there and set up an intercept. So I had a little bit of a fuel flow problem on an earlier launch with this lander. So I'm gonna try to make sure that I think I adjusted the fuel flow just to make sure that the tanks were draining in the right way. Okay, so I'm just setting my mothership as the target. Just trying to make sure that I'm going to take off in the right direction here. Looks like my tanks are draining in the right order, so everything looks good. Alright, looks like we've got our apoapsis well above the atmosphere. Now we're just going to plan a circularization burn. And we're going to have to start setting up some intercepts with the mothership so we can rendezvous. Just coming up on that circularization burn. Looks like we had a fair amount of fuel to spare too, which is cool. So now I'm just adjusting my inclination to match the mothership's orbit. And yeah. Looks like we've got a intercept there in the orange markers, in just a few orbits. Looks like 4 days. We're just gonna perform that maneuver real quick. And we're gonna pass by at 1/2 kilometer, which is really good. Now I'm just switching my nav ball to target, and then we're gonna have to burn off all our relative speed. So I'm just pointing retrograde to target. There I go. Okay. Now all I have to do is point to target, burn towards it, and then I'm gonna have to slow down again once I pass by it. Still can't see it yet. Oh, there it is. Okay. We're gonna do a docking real quick. We got that docking. We've got some extra fuel, so I'm just going to transfer some of the liquid fuel into my interplanetary stage. Just do a little frugal fuel planning here. Now I'm just trying to plan my exit maneuver for the Simeht and Simetra system, so I can lower my periapsis on the other side of the sun to intercept Sarah, which is the desert planet with the rings, the wormhole that will connect back to the Kerbal system. That wormhole orbits around this planet called Sarah, which is it's closer to the sun in this particular system, so we have to exit the Simeht Simetra system in a retrograde direction, and it'll lower my periapsis on the other side of the sun, as you can see. Looks like we've got a good little maneuver set up. Oh, why did I delete it? That's weird. I got it set up again. Okay, that looks good. Just transferring some of that fuel. We're going to undock, leave it in orbit. It's kind of littering, but who cares? We're going to save a ton of delta V because of that. And we have over 7,000 meters per second of delta V to make it home, which is really good. I definitely kind of overplanned on this mission. So now we're just exiting the Simeht and Simetra system. Now we need to set up an intercept with the Sarah system. So I'm just setting up an inclination adjustment maneuver. That's going to be kind of expensive at 645 meters per second. Just another maneuver to lower our periapsis just a bit more. Now we just have to set up a good intercept. Looks like we don't get any natural intercepts in the next few orbits. I kind of want to just save time at this point, so we're going to just make our own intercept here. There we go. Just warping around that maneuver. Flyby here. So I'm going to try to do a similar thing as I did in the first part of this little mission, which is actually in a separate video, but I'll link that at the end of this video. But we're not going to try to circularize around this planet. I've been experimenting with just kind of preserving my speed all the way through the wormhole and seeing where that puts me on the other side of it. Because you actually do like preserve your speed if you just thread the needle. So it's a little bit risky because sometimes you don't know like where the wormhole's pointing in the other on the other side of the wormhole. So in the Kerbal system, but I think that's how I saved so much fuel this mission, is I didn't circularize around Sarnus and Sarah on my way there and back. So we just set up our pass through the wormhole here. We're just gonna execute that burn really quick. Burned a little bit too far. Just gonna do a little bit of fine tuning. Looks like we've got our wormhole fly-through all set up. And there it is. That's a really good view of it. Whoa. But yeah, we passed through it, so now we're all the way back in the Kerbal system. So I have to go into the tracking station to reselect my craft here. Oh my gosh, and it looks like we've really kind of overdone it with that little fly through. Looks like we're almost on a collision course with the sun, looks like. So I'm just going to do a retrograde maneuver just to kind of mitigate that a little bit, and also raise our periapsis up to that of Kerbin. There's Sarnus in the back there. So that ended up being kind of an expensive maneuver, but just set Kerbin as my target. I'm going to do an inclination adjustment. Alright, now it's time to start setting up a intercept. Oh, looks like we got one right away. There it is. Got our flyby here. Now we're just going to adjust it so that we pass close enough. We're going to re-enter on the day side so that we can see what's going on. It's going to take us like 3 years to get all the way back. Now I'm just going to adjust my my flight path so that I can get a good pass through the atmosphere. And here we are pulling up on Kerbin. So we had about 3,000 meters per second to spare. Now I'm just getting ready for re-entry. We're going in real hot. looks like the dangerous part of the re-entry is over. We just deployed our chutes. Looks like this mission's going to be a success. Yeah. Looks like that's going to be it for part 2. If you guys have any suggestions on where you want me to go in the Kcalbeloh system, just let me know. I'll see if I can make it happen. I've just been continuing this series called Beyond the Wormhole, where I try to explore the Kcalbeloh system using stock parts. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.